And welcome back to the Cinema Corner Man podcast with your host, the beautiful Jamar.
Hello.
And myself, Jacob. All right, this week is the Breakfast Club. The old Breakfast Club.
The old Breakfast Club.
Yes. As usual, spoiler warning. If you haven't seen this movie already, probably should go see it. It's only been out for like 40 years. So.
A little over 40.
Yeah. Yeah. This movie was directed by John Hughes back in the day. I haven't seen any of his other movies, I don't think. Off the top of my head.
I don't think I have either.
So, yes, this is the first one. Overall, Jamara, what would you rate this movie?
Okay, so let's preface this by saying that I chose this movie for us to watch. And there's a reason for it. This is not my first time seeing this movie. I rate it a 9.5 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10.
This is an incredible movie for me. And it's also on our background, our logo.
Yes, it is.
So, yeah, 9.5 out of 10.
Fair enough. I give this movie a 6 out of 10.
A 6?
A 6 out of 10.
Oh
yes.
my
gosh! Yes. I'm sorry. Don't mean to disappoint everybody.
Oh, wow. People are going to be mad at you.
I have my reasons, okay. What are your takeaways from this movie? Your themes?
Theme?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What did you say?
I said that regardless of what kind of person others see you as, that you are who you are. I feel like that was a big deal in this.
Okay, I see that.
And regardless of the cards that you were dealt in life, you can make your life what you want it to be.
True.
I think those are two pretty big themes.
Yeah.
The character development was pretty good for me in the good section. Sorry, jumping right into it.
Yeah.
There was some show don't tell. The principal asking for Andrew to help him prop the doors open, I thought was pretty good. It helped show us how he saw Andrew pretty much as just this submissive, helpful, person, hero guy that would just come and help whoever asked him to help, regardless of how he wanted to.
Okay.
I felt like that it kind of showed how society as a whole, specifically through the parents and the principal, saw the characters, which I liked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Because that's how I feel about every single character, so I could go through how all of them were that way. But for all the characters, I felt like it did a good job of showing that to us.
That was very deliberate.
Yeah.
Because they wanted you to see how the adults saw them. And then kind of we would get to know them and see how they actually were.
Yes.
So yeah, I really love that. Who's your favorite character?
Either Andrew or Brian. I don't know.
Brian!
One of those two. Yeah. Those are my two favorites. I didn't really have a favorite scene in this movie.
You didn't?
None of them really stuck out to me, no.
Are you kidding me? Do you know what my favorite scene is?
Maybe the dancing one. I guess the dancing
No. My favorite scene is when the principal comes in, talks to Bender, and he can't stop giving him detention.
That's a good one. That's a good scene.
That's my favorite scene. Not even close, bud. Come on. Come on.
That was good. Okay, fair enough. That was a good scene.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's all I got. What else you got for the good?
I love Bender, favorite character. What else? I really liked, I don't know her name, the weird girl, Allison. I kind of liked her. She, under Bender, she's probably my next favorite character. Just because she was so quiet, we were like, what the heck is wrong with her? And then she speaks, and you kind of get to know her more by what she's saying. But, yeah, I like her character. It's pretty good. She grew to me. Just a little bit. I think that's it.
Well.
Oh! And at the end, of course, when he's walking through the field and he's reading the essay, and then at the end of the essay, he's walking out the end of the field, and he does the iconic put his fist up in the air.
That was a good scene too.
Yeah,
yes.
that was
That's
a great
fair.
scene. So, I just love this movie. It makes me feel everything. It's everything that I want in a movie.
Yeah.
And it's rated R. So keep in mind, because that was a shock to me. I didn't realize it was rated R.
It's quite a bit of language.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of drug use.
Yes. A little sexual connotation, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my problem with this movie throughout the whole thing was just that I was not a teenager when I saw it. So most of the stuff that would hit close to home and stuff and really make you feel close to these characters just didn't feel that way at all for me.
This is your first time seeing it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Actually, my favorite character now that I'm thinking about it might have been the janitor. I did like him.
Carl,
yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's just he seemed the most, I don't know, the one that saw everything the way it was. And I don't know. I don't know. I just liked him the most out of all the characters. But yeah, I guess for the bad section to get into it, for me, I just felt like this was slow a lot of times, just from pure storytelling standpoint. I literally felt like I was sitting through the tension with these kids while I was watching it.
I think you're supposed to.
Well, I mean, if I'm sitting around bored, while I'm watching the movie, I don't know.
But then something happens and you're not bored.
Fair enough.
And then it gets a little boring, and then something happens and you're not bored.
Right, yeah.
That
is fair.
movie.
And I guess that kind of leads me to my other thing I didn't really like. The transitions seemed pretty jarring throughout this whole time. Through the whole movie, I should say. Not through the whole movie. That's not fair. There were quite a few of them. Like I believe during the fight, like when they were fighting, Andrew and John, they were fighting on the ground, and like then he gets up and it's like this big like standoff, and then there's a cut, and I was like, oh, they're still in the standoff. What's gonna happen next? And instead, it's like everybody's like sitting there like about to fall asleep, like 2 hours later, and I was like, oh, time passed. Like I was able to put it together afterwards, but it was like there was no inclination that time was passing or that it passed at all. So I had to like figure it out every time. I was like, oh,
okay.
It happened quite a few times.
I didn't notice
Maybe
that.
yeah, maybe not for you because you've seen it before, you knew it was coming, but I never seen it, so I never expected what was coming.
Yeah, I can understand that. I've seen it maybe 5 or 10 times, so okay, I can understand that.
I also didn't really there was like so much like tell, don't show with the characters throughout, like especially when they're talking about their home lives and such, and I can kind of see it because they were just meeting each other for the first time,
Right.
But I still feel like there was better ways, instead of saying, oh, he did this thing and that, like he bullied, like when Andrew bullied the kid and he felt bad about it, maybe have in the actual movie, have him, they're sitting in detention for 8 hours, have him, bully Andrew or Brian, I should say, bully Brian, and then like realize what he's doing and then like storm off, like upset, like at himself and mad, and then maybe have Allison go talk to him and he explains why he's upset or something. Something like that for me would have been better than just them all sitting in a circle having group therapy time.
I would have to disagree, only because I think that before they even went to detention, he knew that it was wrong. So I don't think that him realizing it was, like, the person that he is, if he would have realized it in detention, then he would have been, like, mean. He would have been a bad person before going into it.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So, and I think because the whole reason is that, like, his dad wanted him to seem, like, macho and get into trouble and, do all these things. But that's not the person that he is.
Right, and I think that's good character development.
Yeah.
I agree. That I do like, that's why I said that they were developed pretty good. Mm-hmm. It's just that I didn't like that specific part, how they just kept talking about their lives. And that was pretty much it. And, there's other movies that we've seen that they do a good job of, talking and not really feeling that way. Movies like Knives Out or The Hateful Eight, where they're all basically in a room. I think The 12 Angry Men is like that, but we haven't seen that one yet.
No.
Oh, I still want to see that one. 12 Angry Men, that's good. Even like Reservoir Dogs, they're all just basically in the warehouse the whole time.
Talking, yeah.
Right, yeah. And it was never like, I'm upset and I hate my dad.
It was the actions that made us realize what was happening.
That's all I was getting at.
Yeah, I can understand that.
No, all those movies, except The 12 Angry Men, all those other movies came out after this one, so, maybe they learned from it. I don't know.
Right.
But
I think as a teenager watching this, you probably don't get that.
Yes.
Like, you just hear it and you just get it, right? But in terms of, like, film, I do think that the showing would have made us connect to it more, instead of having to just hear it.
Like I said, there was some of it, right? Like, teenagers, I feel like, are in between. Children, you have to show them everything. Mm-hmm. And adults really like it when you don't show them and they can figure it out. It makes you feel a lot more connected to whatever's going on, because you can, like, internalize and you have experience with that type of person.
Right.
Teenagers, I feel like, are somewhere in the middle. So, like I said, sometimes it did it right. Sometimes it was just, this is what's happening. Mm-hmm. Relate to it. And, like, if I was a teenager, I probably would have.
Yeah. That's a good thing to notice.
Yeah. That's all I had really for this movie. Overall, not bad, right? I thought it was entertaining at times, especially when they're running through the high school. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, that was fun. I did love the dance scenes
when he was in the basketball court.
Yeah, that was funny. When they're smoking weed, it's like,
yeah,
chicks cannot hold they smoke. That's what it is.
That was Brad, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh! And what was he like? You're so conceited, Glenn. You're so conceited.
There were some good points in this. There were some good moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad I watched it. 6 out of 10 for me. What was your favorite movie? One of them of all time.
Yep. When I was, I think 15, this is my favorite movie of all time, and I watched it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I feel like anybody that's that age that watches it would probably say the same thing.
Yeah. And it's still on my list to this day. I love it.
Yep. Well, anyway, that's about all I got. Anything else? Last remarks?
No. I would recommend you watch it.
Well, I guess that's all we got. See y'all next week.